Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're tackling a common question I get asked. How do you stay on track during the holidays? There will be three parts to this, and we are on part two today. So, this episode, part two, we will discuss alcohol and sweets over the holidays. If you have not gone back to part one, give that a listen so that you know how to track the homemade, yummy foods that we love so much around the holidays. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We just came off of a big week of celebrating the big birthdays. On the 20th was my birthday, 21st was my son Ben's birthday, and 22nd was Lola's birthday. So we have had quite the week. Just a quick reminder, a new podcast episode drops every Monday, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single one. This week on my Instagram, we celebrated a Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse member, Jen, who went from skinny fat to losing the fluff to revealing tone muscles inside of the clubhouse. You have got to see her abs. In the past, she tried many other different fad diets, but nothing worked until now. So please go over to my Instagram, check her out. Her story is motivating all of my listeners to take action and join the wait list for the next shred, which will be in mid to late January 2025. The best part is if you are already a Clubhouse member, you get $100 off. So, inside the Clubhouse, we are gearing up for a December challenge called Define December. And the Clubhouse won't be open to the public again until June 2025. This past week in the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse, we made a pie crust, one that you can use for Thanksgiving. You can also use for Christmas and any other time. The recipes are always clickable inside the Clubhouse and shoot right into the app. Not only that, but I am now featured in the My Macros Plus app, and anyone can search for me under by brand. And then Kelly Counts Macros, counts with a K. All my recipes are in there. And the advantage that the Clubhouse members have is that I have my recipe book, all of the recipes under guides inside of the Clubhouse. So they're all on one spot. So you don't have to remember where you saved the recipe on social media. So I am inside of the My Macros Plus app. All of my recipes are in there. You just go under by brand, then Kelly Counts Macros, counts with a K. And it's so simple. It's so easy. You can find my recipes on my Instagram page. But one of the many reasons I love the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse membership is the cookbook all in one spot. So right inside the membership. I'm super excited about having those all in one spot. So if you are part of the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse, you know I'm all about helping you stay focused and on track during the holidays. So let's dive in. Part two, sweet treats and alcohol. So sweet treats are a common question I get. So how do you avoid the sweet treats from the holidays? Don't feel like you need to avoid the sweet treats. If you want to have some sweet treats, have them. If you want to have some sweet treats, people have issues when they feel like they need to avoid the treats. When you demonize a certain food as good or bad, right or wrong, healthy or unhealthy, you are setting yourself up for failure. When you feel like you need to avoid them, when that's the way what your verbiage is and your thought process, when you eventually give in and have one, your first thought is, I messed up. And what happens when you think you messed up for enjoying a sweet treat? You say, you know what? I already messed up, so let's go all out. And you have the entire plate of cookies. Simply by not trying to avoid them and giving yourself permission to have them, you're going to have more self-control. Binging and overeating often stems from feeling like you screwed up. Don't avoid them. We can come up with strategies to moderate them, and that's what I'm going to help you with right now. Get this word avoid out of your vocabulary unless the sweets make you feel bad, make your tummy feel off. Then avoid them. Maybe they make you feel bloated, give you a tummy ache, But if you enjoy it, it's okay to enjoy the sweet treats rather than say, I'm going to avoid. I think a better way to phrase this question is, how can I eat some sweet treats in moderation? That's how you have some. How can you enjoy it without completely overdoing it? How can you enjoy a treat without feeling like you have to restrict it? Where is the balance? I have two, actually three really effective ways to try and do this that work super well. So give them a shot. Number one, there are a lot of treats at these parties. And if you look at the research around caloric intake in a single sitting, consistently when people go to a buffet and there are endless options, they eat way more cookies or calories or treats when there's a lot of different types of food like pie, cake, ice cream, cookies, etc. What I recommend is this: pick your favorite one and enjoy that. Your non-negotiable, your priority. You're going to find yourself getting full of it relatively soon, paying attention to what bites actually taste good. I can assure you by bite 3 to 4, if you're paying attention, it's not as good as you thought. It's not as good as the first 1, 2, 3 bites. When people give themselves permission to eat, suddenly they can do it in moderation. When you feel like you're screwing up or avoiding it, it becomes an impulse and you can't stop. When you allow yourself to eat it and can have it, it's not a big deal anymore and you're not screwing up. So pick one dessert, one sweet treat, and have it. The second option is when you go to get whatever you're going to get, put it on one dessert plate, one smaller plate, one tiny plate or napkin, and make only that one trip. Don't go back at different times throughout the event. One trip, one plate or napkin. If you want to have a variety, put them all on that one little plate, but avoid loading a tray or a large plate. Keep it to a smaller dessert plate or napkin. This way, you're monitoring how many total calories you're eating, and you're way less likely to go overboard. That way, you don't feel like a failure. You can stay on track, which helps you be more consistent and stay on track over the holidays. The third option we work on in the clubhouse. We make a custom entry for a cookie and pre-track as many cookies as we want before leaving the house so that we are staying in within the macro budget, within the calorie deficit or the maintenance calories. A typical cookie is 150 calories. So within our app, we call it the teal box. It's in the My Macros Plus app. You do a custom entry and pre-track those cookies. Easy peasy, removing the all or nothing mentality, knowing that you're not going to ask Aunt Susie what she puts into her peanut butter blossoms. FOMO, once a year, feeling like this is the only chance to have these certain foods. How do you deal with that? FYI, you can leave the Walmart or Kroger cookie on the plate. You can leave the Oreo on the plate. You can have those anytime. Heck, you can make your Christmas bark on Easter or for any occasion. No need to house all of the Christmas crack. You can make Easter crack. You can make it any time that you want. I'll keep this part short because the reality is we know what to do. I'll go over a couple of things we've already discussed, plus something else to consider. First, you could choose one dessert and enjoy it, paying attention to when you've had enough. Because when you pay attention to when you're full, full is too full. This way you can get a taste without overindulging. Remember, you don't need to have a whole slice of pumpkin pie, a whole dozen of Buckeyes. Anybody love Buckeyes? If you're from Erie, PA, they're peanut butter balls covered in chocolate. Or you don't need to have a whole piece of fudge just to get the taste. You don't need to, even if you want to. Another thing to think about is what's going to make yourself proud. I really like this approach because many of us make decisions based on emotions in the moment. We may have an impulse to do something, but while doing it, we're not happy and we're regretting it. Think about what's going to make you proud. It takes you away from the impulse desires and allows you to think about things logically. Ask yourself, What decision do I actually want to make? This approach helps because generally we know what to do. We know we should eat more fruits and vegetables or go to the gym, but we don't always follow through due to impulse actions. When you think about the future and what will make you proud, it's easier to make a decision you're content with. In fact, I have my private clients who struggle with this put an alarm in their phone that will come across during the meal or the night out or when dessert is served, saying, how do you want to feel in the morning? This works like gangbusters and stops them dead in their tracks. Perhaps you need to set an alarm during that holiday party when you think about having that third glass of wine or after your meal so that you are mindful of your fullness. Eating a lot for one night or even a week isn't going to suddenly make you gain weight. If this is something you genuinely want, go for it and don't feel guilty about it. Own your decision and you'll feel less guilty, more satisfied, and less likely to feel like you messed up. The more you own it, the more likely you're going to get back on track. If you want to lose weight, don't focus on doing it at the most challenging time. Instead, limit the number of plates or snacks you have. I could give you tips on structuring meals, but you likely already know what to do. That's like why I like to say, don't overdo it unless that's really your choice. Make your decision before going to Thanksgiving dinner, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's. Decide how much you'll have, whether it's one plate or splitting an order in half at a restaurant and asking for a to-go container when you order. The more specific your plan, the more likely you are to stay on track and be consistent. P.S. You can make pumpkin pie any time of the year. So let's talk about alcohol and binge eating over the holidays. So alcohol over the holidays, how to deal with it. I want to start with this because I've recently gotten a lot of questions from people who have been told that calories from alcohol are different from calories from food. They're not. All calories are equal, whether it's from carbs, fruit, a Burger King Whopper, broccoli. A calorie is just a unit. That's it. Most people who struggle with weight gain over the holidays are overeating, not just drinking alcohol. It's not directly because of the alcohol. It's usually a combination of having a few drinks and then eating a ton. This happens all the time. People go out to drink on Friday night, then come back and eat everything in sight. Popcorn, Christmas cookies, leftover Halloween candy, stuffing, and then finish off Aunt Jeannie's pie that she made. If you know that drinking leads you to overeat, this is where you have a bright line. It's very important. Even if you're a bit tipsy, set a rule for yourself. One plate of food, or maybe one or two glasses of a specific type of alcohol, whether it's beer, wine, clear liquor, whatever it is. Make your line, your rule for yourself. Be specific and you won't break it. If you drink more than intended, if you do go over, just get back on track. Don't sit there feeling guilty, thinking, oh, I drank so much, then I ate all the dessert, then I went and got even more food. One of the most common questions people ask is how to stop binging. But more than specific tips, I want to talk about why people binge. Understanding the why can help prevent it. Most people binge when they feel like they've messed up. They justify continuing to eat because they feel like they've already gone overboard. This often ties into holiday eating with thoughts like, this food is only here for tonight, so I better eat as much of it as I can. And people regret it because they're eating out of fear that they're messing up or that they won't get to eat this again. So they need to eat as much as possible now. This is why I emphasize flexibility. When you're flexible and don't demonize foods, you allow yourself to have holiday treats without feeling like you need to go overboard. This doesn't mean eating treats all day, every day. Obviously, a diet should have minimally processed, nutrient-dense foods like lean protein, fruits, veggies. But if you demonize foods, you're setting yourself up to overdo it. If you want Reese's Christmas trees or peanut butter blossoms, have some. It's not going to ruin your progress. It is a complex topic, and if it's something you really struggle with, I encourage you to seek professional support. It's important to remember that even if it feels challenging, you do have control, and professional help can be beneficial. Aside from that, remembering that you don't have anything to lose by trying to live more flexibly and being okay with moderation. Think about what advice you would give a friend. If your best friend or child felt awful for having a plate of cookies, you'd probably tell them it's okay to treat themselves. Apply that same kindness to yourself and don't let one choice derail you. The more you internalize this mindset, the easier it becomes to get back on track and to continue making progress. Talk to yourself like you would your BFF because you deserve it. Just like your BFF deserves it, just like your children deserve it. I would love for you to share this episode and tag me on social media so I can personally thank you. Also, leaving a 5-star review of the podcast helps me help more people. Who knows, you might even hear your review on here. We have game-changing workouts and challenges. We're heading into Define December. It's going to be in full effect in December inside of the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse monthly membership, along with simple, delicious meals for your whole family, weekly check-ins, the accountability pieces in place, which is the most important part of any successful plan. It's time to get out of your own way and stop overthinking. I can help simplify everything because I know you're busy, you're short on time. So I will put in the wait list for the Shred 2025. It will be in January. Get on that wait list. Don't forget to join my free Facebook community at Kelly Counts Macros Community, counts with a K, so that you stay in the know. Alrighty, friends. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with somebody who needs to hear it. And remember, it's the all or something mentality you need to incorporate into your fitness and nutrition journey. I'll catch you next time. And just know you're always doing better than you think you are.